concerning this, and our time is extremely short to get something done. So, the Tucson community must not rest. We need to focus on the Senate Armed Services Committee now. We have a member, a representative, our representative sits on that committee, and his name is Senator John McCain. Senator John McCain is an advocate of keeping the A-10. We need to leverage that. So there's going to be a call to action, and that call to action is for each and every one of you, not only just for yourselves, but everybody you know. They need to make phone calls and emails to the Senate Armed Services Committee members now, aka John McCain, and keep doing it until May 20th. We need to flood his voicemail box and his email boxes. We need to do it, and it has to come from this community. So if the A-10 goes away, what happens to DM? Secretary of the Air Force, and I heard her say this in her testimony during the Senate Armed Services posturing hearing, they proposed a new round of BRAC, or base realignment and closure, to begin in 2017. Not too far away. There is a possibility of the addition of the MQ-9, which is a drone, to the Air National Guard, and perhaps a squadron of F-16s, and AFRAs means Air Force Reserves. So that's a Guard unit and a Reserve unit that could go on Davis Mountain Air Force Base. And what I want to tell you is, so does that mean it's okay that the A-10s leave and these guys come in, so it's no net loss? It's absolutely a net loss. Because with the Guard and the Reserve, it's not a one-for-one replacement in jobs and staffing and manpower. So you have to keep that in mind. So while that could be good news, it's not great news. The prevailing attitude in the Senate Armed Services Committee, this is a direct quote, I wrote it down in my notebook, which is right there. Senator Jim Inhofe, which is on the Senate Armed Services Committee, said, BRAC costs money. We can't afford it. We need the money for readiness, and he's absolutely correct. BRACs are very, very expensive. The last BRAC, I mentioned this in the last town hall, I'll mention it here, the last BRAC was 2005. And if you took the cost of that BRAC effort from 2005 and you put it into, and the most recent dollars I could put it into was 2011, so if you put that 2005 expenditure into 2011 dollars, it was $35 billion. So we're going to get rid of some airplanes and potentially close the base, and he's absolutely right. We cannot afford this. We cannot. So is DM vulnerable to a BRAC? Sadly, yes. The primary mission at that base right now is the A-10s. 82 airframes, and if they leave, there's potential that the Air Force could find homes for the other units that are there. And there's a lot of other units out there. I think there's about 40. But they could find homes someplace else if the BRAC goes and the recommendations are taken. So what I will tell you is absolutely not guaranteed, and I'm not an alarmist. And I don't want to appear as an alarmist, but I do want to be kind of pragmatic about this and let you know what the real story is. And there is a possibility that Davis Mountain could be targeted for BRAC should the A-10 leave. So what can we do? Here's your call to action. Make noise, contact Senator McCain now, and keep contacting him until the 20th. Don't call his office here in Arizona, or his offices. Call his office in Washington. That's where he's at. That's where you're going to have the greatest impact. If you do it here, by experience, we know that the word doesn't always get to where it needs to go. Hang on just a second. We're going to get to Q&A in a minute, sir. There's a letter back on that back table. It's a sample letter that I've written up for you. It's actually an email. I don't expect you to use snail mail, but email is very effective, very quick, and you can do a bunch of them. Just kind of copy and paste that narrative into an email and blast his inbox. He needs to know that this is important to us. And again, keep calling until the 20th. Sign up for A-10 email updates also at the back table if you'd like to keep, because we're watching this almost on a minute-by-minute basis. There's a whole group of folks out there that are absolutely dedicated to keeping this thing alive, And so they're very, very plugged into what's going on in Washington. So we're getting that information drilled into us almost on a real-time basis. So sign up for that. And I would say take it a step further. Who's not making noise? I haven't heard anything, maybe you have, but I haven't. Contact the mayor. The mayor has to be involved. The city council has to be involved. I've been through BRACs before. In San Antonio, they selected multiple bases in that military community to go at one time. The mayor and the city council almost lived in Washington, D.C. because it was that important. And they said, you know, we're going to show them that this community is here. And it's not just the mayor and the city council, it's also business leaders. Everybody that stands to lose needs to be raising some cane right now and tell them to support it, support the A10 in Davis-Monthan. We have to build community support. If we sit here as a community and we sit on our hands while the folks in Washington say, well, we're not hearing anything out of Tucson, so it's obviously not that important to them. It's a real deal, folks. It's a real deal. Don't let that happen here. So yeah, I'm running for Congress.